The translation of the provided text into English is as follows. You will not pierce the earth, nor will you reach the mountains in height. How beautiful is this description! Every ascent and success may be followed by a descent that could be lengthy, or another ascent may be the consequence. This is what we know, and it is what the peoples of past ages either knew or ignored. Their stories serve as the best evidence. Followers, our story today is about a prophet, a people, and a city. A great city whose inhabitants are said to be giants. A people who stirred controversy in history. They and their city, which is closer to fantasy than reality. With their greatness, they dived and grew, and they and their city disappeared suddenly. Their fate remained one of the mysteries of mysterious history. Who were the people of Ad? Who built their city Iram, with its lofty pillars? What is their story with the prophet of God, Hud, peace be upon him? Here is the complete story before we start the episode. My friends, don't forget to subscribe to the official channel and activate the notification bell. Also, I'll share in this video links to my personal accounts on Instagram and Facebook for those who want to follow me and communicate with me to share any information or comments. No. At the beginning, it is worth mentioning that scholars' opinions have varied regarding the people of Ad and their city, and what I am narrating is the opinion of the majority of scholars. Our story, my friends, begins with the people of Ad, whom historians and interpreters trace their lineage back to Ad bin Iram bin Sam bin Noah, and they were among the first people to inhabit the earth after the famous flood of Noah, peace be upon him. These people were blessed by Allah with many favors, so they were prosperous. Their lands were fertile and green, overflowing with water. They owned cattle and animals that covered the eye of the sun. And, more importantly, Allah granted them the most essential thing for human beings, health. These people were healthy, strong, and in perfect well-being. In fact, they were not like ordinary humans in our time. They were massive in build, towering in height, strong and formidable, fearing nothing. All these qualities made them conquer the land and rule kingdoms by force. As a result of their power and all the resources they obtained from different parts of the earth, they were able to build what no one had been able to build before. They constructed tall dwellings, large factories to collect water, erected magnificent palaces equipped with everything that indicated luxury and prosperity. In their pride and admiration for themselves, they reached the point of building towering structures on mountains, hills, and solid rocks. The strange thing is that they did not build these structures to inhabit or benefit from them. They built them only for the sake of boasting and showing their strength and prowess to other nations. This action included building one of the largest and most magnificent cities, known as the city of Iram. However, despite all the material, physical, and spiritual blessings Allah had bestowed upon them, they became arrogant, disbelieving, and took for themselves a god other than Allah, the Almighty. They worshipped idols, and they had 3 idols named Sada, Samad, and Hara, according to other interpretations. The people of Ad spread corruption and tyranny in the land. Sending a prophet to that nation became a necessary and inevitable matter. So, Allah sent a man from among them, who would confront them about their sins and polytheism, reminding them that everything they possessed was solely a blessing from Allah, and He alone could take it away from them in the blink of an eye. This prophet was Hud, peace be upon him. As for Hud, historians and interpreters have mentioned that he was Hud, the son of Shamikh, the son of Chinan, the son of Rashid, the son of Sam, the son of Noah. His lineage traces back to Seth, the son of Adam, peace be upon them. The prophet of Allah, Hud, was well known among his people as he was one of them. This is mentioned in Surah Ash-Shu'ara, Surah Hud, and Surah Al-Araf, where Hud, peace be upon him, is referred to as the brother of Ad, indicating his affiliation with the same tribe. Prophet Hud is mentioned in the scriptures of the Ancient Covenant, specifically in the ancient Jewish texts, with the same lineage. Returning to our prophet, who began his call to monotheism and the abandonment of idol worship, he, like other nations' deniers, faced rejection and harm. However, Hud remained, with good manners, in dealing with his people. He persisted in inviting them, alternately enticing them with the gardens of eternity and warning them of Allah's punishment in this world, similar to what happened with the people of Noah before them and the punishment awaiting them in the hereafter. Despite the strength and oppression enjoyed by the people of Ad, they couldn't harm Hud even as much as the wing of a fly. This, according to commentators, is considered a miraculous aspect of Hud. The situation escalated to the point where the Jews asked their people to harm Hud, but he remained unharmed, unlike stones and wood, not to mention animals like camels. Throughout the years of Hud's call, the people of Ad continued to build their grand cities, especially Iram with its towering pillars. The story of the construction of this city has always been a subject of debate. The narrative suggests that Ad attributed its construction to a king named Ad, whose descendants carried on his legacy. These kings, named Shaddad and Shaddad's son, intensified corruption and wars until Shaddad was killed. Shaddad's son Shaddad took complete control. According to narratives, he was a tyrannical and oppressive king who did not believe in Hud's call. According to other accounts, when Shaddad heard about the paradise mentioned by Hud, he decided to build a city that rivaled it. He aimed for his people to inhabit it after its completion, thus proving Hud wrong. Shaddad began building the city with massive pillars adorned with precious stones like its walls and grounds. The city glittered with gold and silver, adorned with sapphires. Shaddad worked tirelessly to supply the city with abundant water sources. Rivers flowed through its streets, and diverse, dense trees spread throughout the city. Shaddad spared no expense to adorn his city with every luxury. After completing the city in about 10 years, Shaddad and his people prepared to move into their desired paradise. However, as they entered, signs of divine punishment began to appear. Allah ordered Hud and the believers to distance themselves from the city. Once they did, a powerful wind, created by Allah, blew. The people of Ad tried to seek refuge in deep pits and shelters they had prepared, but the wind was so strong that it lifted them and tossed them around like the leaves of a bird's wing. The wind's force was such that it cut off the heads and hands of the people of Ad, as various narratives and interpretations suggest. Certainly, here is the English translation of the provided text. And, of course, these winds uprooted the houses and towering palaces, demolished the factories, and brought down the soaring buildings. According to some interpretations, these winds were dry, and from their dryness, there were scorching winds that came upon every aspect of life in the cities of the people of Ad, turning them into ruins. The unnatural winds persisted for 7 nights and 8 days until the blowing of the wind ceased, and the imposing Iram, with its towering pillars, disappeared beneath the dense sands without a trace remaining. As for the people of Ad, the oppressors, they became a severed people, with heads and limbs thrown apart, as the winds tossed them like the barren palm tree stalks. Allah saved Hud and those who believed with him from the painful punishment. This city and its story are mentioned in more than one place in the Noble Quran. We find mention of it in Surah Al-Ahqaf, Al-Haqqa, Ash-Shu'ara, Hud, Al-Araf, and Al-Far. Naturally, these events are also addressed in the prophetic traditions regarding the history of extinct nations. Despite this, many skeptics persisted in questioning the authenticity of this story, going so far as to consider the city of Iram a mythical city woven from imagination until the emergence of one of the greatest discoveries. In the early year of 1999, a scholar of archaeology named Nicholas Clapp announced the discovery of the mythical city, according to his claim. He drew inspiration for his search for the lost city from a book by a writer named Bertram Thomas titled Arabia Felix, where the Bedouins referred to a specific spot as Iram. The writer observed in it traces of ancient civilization, of course. Nicholas Clapp continued his search for this city to initiate excavation and removal of the sands from what he later called Ubar. The sand legend is that you remember a circle, isn't that right? Of course, news of this discovery spread, and there is a description of this city and one of its castles in an article published in the American Times. The article states that the discovered castle is an 8-sided castle with thick walls and towers at its corners, built on massive columns, 9 meters high, with a diameter of 3 meters. Following this, speculations about this city began, whether it is the city of Iram with towering pillars or another mythical city. Like other ancient mythical cities, historians differed in determining its actual location, ranging from Giza to Alexandria, Damascus, passing through Mount Ram in Jordan, and reaching the most frequently mentioned location, meaning the empty quarter in the desert. Muslim scholars unanimously agreed that this city was built in the Aqaf, the city of folded sand, based on its mention in Surah Al-Aqaf and the Prophet Muhammad's hadith referring to the name Aqaf regarding the city's location. The intriguing aspect of the story of this city is that archaeological discoveries and studies have proven that this city was built in its engineering and grandeur before its time. Furthermore, geographical and geological studies of the region where traces were found in the empty quarter confirmed that this area once enjoyed green lands, rivers, abundant water, and thriving human and urban activity. However, an unprecedented sandstorm buried the city and its inhabitants without prior warning, turning the area into a barren desert, thus concluding the legend of a people and a city that has fascinated and continues to captivate the world and scientists. So, my friends, this is what we have in our pocket about the people of Ad and their city, Jadaliyah, along with their story with the prophethood. The story warns us that the consequences of arrogance and boasting are usually severe, and that Allah truly gives respite but does not neglect. So, no matter how successful the denier may be and whatever achievements they may reach, do not be deceived, and we await a day. There are many stories and a long history for you in this. Every Thursday, there is a lesson for us.